Want to know the most underrated marketing and sales strategy as a female entrepreneur? Audacity, with just a sprinkle of delusion. I'm Leanne Lopez Mosley, modern day business mogul, founder of Rich Queen, and the creator and host of the Soft Girl Million Show. Trailblazing isn't just what I do, it's who I am. I grew up across the pond in a small town in England, the middle child, definitely the one who spoke too much and dreamed way too big. I was the little girl with a Hollywood Walk of Fame tile on her pink bathroom wall, so I guess you could say that this was really all part of the plan. I moved to New York at 21 to work in fashion. Think Ugly Betty, but on steroids, realizing very quickly that if I was gonna work this hard, I was sure as hell gonna get paid very well for it. I mean, listen, I'm a Taurus. It's expensive to be me. Somewhere in the middle of corporate America 12 years ago, I met my husband, Justin, still the hottest and coolest man alive. I'm a boy mum, 4 kids with a rich and full life. And I've built a business that creates delusional income without me being at the cost of it. I went all in, walking away from corporate into my coaching business at the end of 2020. And before I even hit anything close to $1 million a month, before the audience, before the proof and the evidence, I was already being coined the trailblazer of the online coaching space. And for good reason. The truth is, I'm no stranger to doing things differently. Whether it be the video content that so many people know me for, the messaging frameworks and the feminine freedom funnels that have shown women how to remove themselves as the cost in their business, it's so clear why my brand grew the way that it did. Because I don't follow trends, I set them. Here's the truth about the female entrepreneur space. There are so many iconic women building these incredible businesses, but still feeling and being the cost at the end of it. And that's exactly what this show is here to change. Soft Girl Millions is not about being soft on the outside and baking sourdough. It's not about the aesthetics or the idea of not working. It's about what happens when a woman stops being soft with everybody else, when she decides to stop being the cost of her own ambition and success. This show is a completely different format, part podcast, part reality TV show. We are traveling the world and bringing to you, straight into your screen, into the lives of iconic women. Not this perfectly polished, curated version that just sounds good on paper, but the real, the raw, the audacious and the vulnerable and everything in between. This show is not just about you watching us, it's actually about you learning how to build a business and a life and a level of wealth that blows your mind while you refuse to be the cost of it. So I invite you to come with me on this journey. This is the Soft Girl Million Show. We are here and I am so excited because today's guest is someone who I have been following since the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. She is another iconic trailblazer who has really stood the test of time. One of the things I love about today's guest is that she has pivoted and lent into the ever-changing online space over and over and over again. And she's the epitome of what continuous innovation looks like. She is someone I haven't met in person, but we're so connected by multiple people in our worlds. And I can't wait to bring her to the show so that she can share her wisdom with all of you around how to ensure that you constantly innovate while staying true to yourself. And I just know that the conversation we're going to have today is going to be everything. So I think she's almost here.
How gorgeous you look. I'm just coming in like my workout clothes.
I'm like, come. You look stunning. Hi. Come in. Leanne, nice to meet you. Welcome. Come in. Sorry, excuse the chaos. Welcome. Yeah. I feel like this is going to look so pretty on screen. And with the minute I saw your outfits, I was like, okay, perfect. Then I knew exactly how to. I like to like compliment whatever you're wearing.
That's a good one.
So you leave tomorrow for Tulum?
Yeah, in the morning. Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I am excited. You know how like when you're really busy, you get excited like the day before?
You go.
Or when you go.
When you're on the plane.
You're like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm packing tonight.
You're like, oh, I better get situated.
Literally, I'm packing tonight. Oh, yes. We're here.
We are here, the Soft Girl Million Show with Laurie Harder. I am so grateful and so honored that you have taken the time out of your schedule to come and film the show with us. I know I was sharing with you before we hit record, but when I thought about the show and I thought about coming here and I reached out to Danielle, I was like, immediately your name was on the top of the list because I have been following you since the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And the first event I attended in 2019, I actually got to hear Chris speak. That's how I found you, was through your fabulous husband. But the minute
Thank God for him.
Thank God for Chris. But I found you, and the reason why I was so excited to have you on the show is like, for me, you are just the epitome of trailblazer. Like you've been in the online space for a long time and you have had so many iterations of success, and you have time and time again been able to pivot, whether it be from fitness, whether it be with what you and Chris do together, what you do separately, whether it be product that you now have launched. I feel like you're the epitome of someone that has been continually reinventing yourself. But I would love to know what that has looked like from the inside, because outside watching it just looks so effortless that you continue to reinvent what looks so easily. But has it been as easy behind the scenes to continue to reinvent and keep up with the ever-changing online space?
First of all, thank you for having me. This is honestly, this was the fastest yes I think I've ever said in my life. You were like, are you free? I'm like, I don't even know if I am. Yes. But I have been following you for a while. And I've been using your Leanne AI. So you're like, I feel like I know you. I'm like, no, I really know you. I've been
No, I actually know you.
Literally talking
to you
every day. So I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for this. And I also know what goes into putting something like this together. So thanks for just inviting me so I can come in and do it.
No, I love
and not have to do all the hard work behind this.
This is the best. You get to take the best experience.
I just walked in and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Thanks for setting this up. Really grateful to be here. And has it been as easy as quote unquote it looks? Absolutely not. It's been one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life is to obviously do the entrepreneurship journey at all. And I think if you know you're an entrepreneur though, it's the journey that you choose.
There's no alternative.
There's no alternative. Like there's no amount of challenges that you would ever go back to work for, because you're probably someone who maybe has a past of a boss maybe telling you something and you just look at them like, no. I'm not going to do it that way. There is something though that I feel like I've discovered within the pivot that I think people are starting to learn more about now that makes it easier to pivot. And that is, there's the through line of the entrepreneur. There's the through line of the person. So people are like, it's so different that you went from fitness to personal development. And I was like, is it really that different?
Yeah.
Because the same person that wanted to do fitness, who wanted to develop herself and her body, is the same person that realized I can only like go so far in life, even with having this fit body that I've always wanted, if your mind can't take you there. Because I was probably the most fit, unconfident person that you've ever met in your life. I was very confident in the gym, but the second that I walked out the gym doors, I would have, like panic attacks thinking about even speaking in front of more than 4 people.
And it's just so surreal to like hear that, because again, I think I always think about the fact that when people say social media isn't real, I'm like, but it is, but there's no possible way that you can experience somebody's full expression through the lens of just Instagram or 150 characters. And I think it's so easy to look at women like you where you've been on, you know, when I think about your fitness journey and you being on the cover of magazines, or I think about how successful you are in like even network, back in the beginning when you were in network marketing, I think it can be so easy just to assume that you just came into the world just incredibly confident and so comfortable walking onto a stage or walking onto the cover of a magazine. And you don't often always see the level of growth that it's required to create the level of self-worth that you have now.
Well, to give everyone an idea, I'm from a really small town in Upper Michigan.
Okay.
And it's like 2 to 3 hours from anything people really considered like a city. And I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and I homeschooled through high school, and I never graduated. So my level of confidence was like so low because I thought I was not smart enough. I had never hung out with anyone outside of my religion. So can you imagine never being allowed to hang out with anyone outside of those four walls? And so when I knew that I was going to leave that religion, it's great. It's great for some people. I knew for me and for where I wanted to go, it was not the choice for me moving forward.
When did you realize that?
Like 13.
Wow. What was it, just like an internal like nudge that you had because you weren't being exposed to
I was being exposed by like TV, and I was still in school, but I wasn't allowed to go to, you know, hang out with anyone or go to any parties or join.
Having that pull.
It wasn't even like, oh, I want to be a part of something that I saw. It was like, it was more a feeling. And I think I wanted to be a performer at the time. Like I was really drawn to the Olympics, to dancing, to gymnastics, because of how it made me feel. So I didn't know what it was about those things, but I knew when I watched it, it's almost like, have you ever had those feelings where you feel like you're almost levitating? You're like, you have more energy than you can possibly imagine because it's something in you that's recognizing, oh, that's for me. That's what that is. That is a soul, like not even a nudge. That is a soul call of there's something here for you. Figure out what that is. And so I got that at a really young age, and it wasn't conducive for the way that I was growing up. And so, you know, because college wasn't even a thing that they wanted you to do. So I was like, okay, this clearly is not going to work for me wanting to be, I was just a big dreamer from being a kid. And so when I was 18, I decided that I was going to leave. And what ended up happening at 18 is that you leave, and I have, you know, don't know anyone in the outside world. So I'm like getting an apartment and a job by myself. And I just went like, just crazy, like, you know, like a spring that's been held for years. And that happened for a few years. And so I think I just was like, you know, saying, you're just trying everything in the world.
Yeah, discovering.
Literally everything. It's just like your self-discovery. I discovered really quick what was, you know, really bad and not for me. And then I also discovered like, there's no way that I can't figure out, or there's no way that I'm not going to figure out how to go and do something. I didn't know what something was, but because I didn't graduate, I looked for loopholes, and there was a big loophole in the fitness industry. They didn't check for diplomas.
That's how you ended up in fitness?
Yes. And I loved fitness anyway, but there was like, being a trainer, you could just go get certified.
Right.
They didn't ever ask for your high school diploma. So I was like, looks like I'm going to be a trainer. And so literally that's how I started falling into it. But the being a personal trainer was really the catapult for me, because I learned so much about myself, about mindset, about what people are really, I mean, there would be incredible, you know, smart business people who would come train with me. And ultimately they all had something that was blocking them, like major blocks. So I learned a lot about people, probably a lot like hairdressers and people who like really get to sit and talk to people. It was one of the best learning lessons.
Yeah, there's like
of my
an
life.
Intimacy that comes with that, with that relationship that really helps
especially
you to
women in working out who were really intimidated, never been in a gym before. And when you can give them confidence around that in their body, I was like, what could I do if I could also get into their brains?
Right.
And so that became a whole thing.
So what did it look like the first time that you kind of pivoted? Because I know that you have a fitness background. I know you were in network marketing. What has kind of been the most substantial pivots that you've made? Because I know that even I think about since the last 5-6 years since I've been in the online space, it's changed dramatically. And you have been a huge part of that change, but you've been someone that has been so seemingly from the outside not resistant to that change, kind of embraced it. And I think sometimes we don't really have the alternative is fail.
fail.
Yeah.
So, but I think that you've done a really good job of that innovation piece. But has there been a specific pivot that was the most like significant for you?
Honestly, they've all, maybe just the first one because it was the first time I pivoted, but they've all held the same energy and they all actually look the same when you're doing them. So I want to give people permission to say, if you've pivoted once, you're going to be just fine pivoting again. And if there's one true thing about the world, it is that you need to absolutely embrace the pivot, and you are all things the pivot.
Right.
Like you are all things the pivot. So it's not like, what are people going to think? Or what's going, what's my family going to say? What is my audience going to think? There are so many ways to take people with you because they're all the pivot as well, meaning they're all the thing that you're moving into as well, or there are people who are feeling the same way as you.
And I think that's the biggest misconception. I think so many women, we all do it where you build something and then you feel so close to the pivot that it feels so gigantic to you. But actually when you've built, I think a lot of the fear is if you've built an audience, it's like, how do I shift when people know me for X? But how do I shift when people think I'm going to be this? And actually, like you said, sometimes the pivot for us, because we're in it, feels so dramatic. Whereas for the people watching you, it's like not as significant to them. It's actually more obvious to them. They're like, oh yeah, this makes total sense for you.
I think something that, you can do that so easy. Sometimes I find these things, it's like these permission lines that you can say. Like you just find a simple line that makes everything after that like feel like you can just say how you're feeling. And for a pivot, you literally can just lead with, I've been in this industry for so long and I love it, but I don't know about you, but I'm literally feeling like there's something else for me too. So I want to show you guys some of what I also am doing. So I'm just going to start bringing in some of that content. And I would love to know if you're feeling the same way. Like, are you feeling a pivot in your life? And then all of a sudden people are now on the journey and they're like, how do you get people on the journey? That is literally
you share the journey and invite people in.
That is, go back and listen to that sentence, and you literally just say that over and over, and people get excited. It's actually a really exciting thing for people, or for people to follow along with. And I think what's also great about that is, whenever I was pivoting, there's a few like rules that I would follow. Is from fitness, when I was pivoting into personal development, a lot of times people have a lot of fear around the money portion, and they think that they just need to like halt one to go to the other.
Yeah. And again, it's our mind will tell us that. It's like you have to pick rather than being able to navigate that messy middle of the in-between.
Totally. There's going to be an in-between. And people forget how to navigate the in-between. And the transition is the most important piece, because you are going to, like, that is actually where you're going to grow the most. That's where you're going to create safety. That's where you're going to create your new network. So I love talking about the pivot in terms of you're going to want to set dates of when you're actually fully going to go to the next thing. And it's not just dates, it was also numbers in our bank account. So whenever Chris and I would talk about pivoting to something, when I wanted to pivot out of fitness and pivot from my gym, I told you I'm a fast start, meaning like if I want to start another thing, I want to drop the last one and I want to start it now. I want nothing to do with the other one.
You're like, no, I'm done with this.
Like, I can't even look at it. But what happens is it's very important for people, if you're like this, to go surround yourself with people who are not, who can help you through the transition. Because you also, I don't think you want to put so much pressure on the new thing that now you took the energy that made it great, and that's going to attract a lot of money to you. And that's going to attract your people. You never want to get into a desperate energy from that. And you will do that if you pivot too fast.
Because it kills, especially I find in women, I think this is the difference as well with men in business, women in business. Men often will thrive in pressure. And for women, it's not that we can't, but it definitely triggers a survival instinct. I know in me, I definitely in the past have been like, oh no, I do really well under a lot of pressure. And then I realized that actually, just because I've been able to thrive in that doesn't mean that actually is optimal in terms of for me and my creativity. I know for me that the minute I'm in survival, my creativity goes out the window.
Same.
So I cannot access the most magnetic part of myself, which means I then have to outwork myself when I'm in my magnetism. I have to work 10 times harder on output because I'm fighting from like survival instinct. So, and I think it's really powerful, especially for someone that has, been in different seasons and has really stood the test of time, to talk about the fact that there is a financial element to making decisions that, yes, make sense in here, but also make sense to keep you safe in the in-between and on paper. And everyone's version of that looks different.
Totally.
But making sure that you can stay in a place where you can still access your overflow flow and creativity, and you don't tap into like the lack and the scarcity, because there's nothing more repelling for people.
So true.
Than doing that. Also, something that I think you have done a really good job of is we talk a lot in the online space around authenticity. It's like such a buzzword. And I think that when you were talking about bringing people into your journey, we often forget that like actually meeting someone at the end destination is not the actually most magnetizing part of finding someone. There's a reason why we all love an autobiography, because we're like, show me the contrast.
Show me the messy middle.
Yeah, we're like, we want to see the how did you become, and actually giving people an opportunity to experience that with you and sharing just simply by bringing them into the conversation. I think you continue to do a great job of that. But I would love to know how, when it comes to social media and that authenticity and that feeling of like, I want to share, but also being someone who I feel like you are a very open, private person. Like I feel like I am kind of like that. I've got a big heart on my sleeve, but I also really fiercely like protect my relationship and my children. And I don't always love to share everything as I'm navigating it.
Totally.
How have you navigated seasons of that? Has there ever been a season for you where you have been navigating something incredibly challenging behind the scenes and feeling like I'm not quite through it enough to share it, and then also feeling that disconnect between then I have to show up authentically and now I feel
literally right now. Literally the biggest one right now.
Wow. That's how you currently feel? What is at the root of that? What is kind of going on that you can share in this environment that feels comfortable for you to share around?
I mean, there's so much when you're going through a lot of different just business things and family things. It's like, number one, those are, family, friends, things like that. They're so sacred. But also, business, you're a leader. Yeah. And that is the number one. That's the thing that's like helping get me through is, so I want people to understand it's one of the most challenging things that you have to, I show up on my podcast 4 times a week, it's like, that is so much, when sometimes it'll be like, oh, I'm in the middle of crying and now I'm going to go on my podcast. Yes. And, I think I'm just in the biggest level up of my life with a lot of tough decisions in front of me. And it's just trying to figure out what I'm going to decide and trying to do your daily life while then trying to find that spaciousness. But I got to be honest, right now I don't have spaciousness. So I'm feeling, verklempt around it all. How do you navigate it? I have really great people in my life. I'm super vulnerable with a few people in my life. Like super breakdown vulnerable, but the rest, like, you just kind of, I have learned how to become a master compartmentalizer, and it's a superpower, and I don't think that you can be in business without it.
No, and I also love that, because I think that there can be a lot of pressure, especially in a big leadership role in the industry, where there can sometimes be a narrative that people feel entitled to be, you have to share, that you should be sharing everything. I know last year when we did Soft Girl Millions, the movie, and I shared that I had been struggling with depression the year prior, there was a few people who were like, I wish you would have shared that more at the time. But for me, I'm like, if I can't be in leadership around something, I can't share it from a place of the wisdom in it. And I think that you don't always have to share. It's also okay to allow yourself to fall apart and be held by the right humans in your life whilst you're also being the leader of a business in the online space. And just because you have social media doesn't mean that everyone in your audience is entitled to know exactly what's going on in every facet of your life as you are navigating it. You are okay to navigate the storms and also share the wisdom once you're through the other side.
I think something you said for people to like understand that is helpful for them is, if you're still in it and you don't know the ending and you don't feel empowered around it, I think that's some of the most sensitive time for whatever it is that you're going through. And if you share that with a bunch of people or the wrong people, that energetically could be a really negative thing for you, where you're in a really vulnerable spot. You don't need 50 DMs telling you a million different opinions. Like, I actually think that's the most important time to get quiet, to talk to God, to talk to your people, and to really like sit with what you are thinking yourself. Because when you are feeling vulnerable and you're at a low point, you're vulnerable. And things will come in and they will potentially take advantage of you, or you'll get on the wrong path again, or you'll make decisions out of fear, out of lack. And so you want to keep that more sacred with your people who have the best intentions with you. And then vice versa, on the other side of that, I don't want to share something with an audience that they don't know what to do with it. Where it's just like, I'm going to kind of give
trauma
this heavy
dump on
thing
you.
to you. Yeah, kind of trauma dump on you with no like ending for
Right.
you, nothing to bring you
It's like,
back
what's
up.
what's the lesson? What's the
Totally.
wisdom?
And what type of leader do you want to be known
Yeah.
for? Like, are you going to be the person who goes through it first and then you have information for them later? Or are you just going to be someone who's kind of known for like, ooh, I kind of don't feel good sometimes around that person. It's because there's energy leaking all over the place. And so I think it's really important to get
and
quiet.
I think people underestimate how much your audience picks up on those things.
For sure.
And sometimes I think that it can be tempting because engagement tends to skyrocket when things are more raw, are more vulnerable. There can be a temptation for people to think that actually that's the secret to being seen. But I'm like, actually no, because you're often then seen by the wrong people that you actually wouldn't want to build because they're the people that like thrive on the drama or the reactivity.
Totally.
And so I just love that you share that, because even now, again, people I think on paper would be like, oh, well, you clearly have everything together and you're not. I'm sure it's just easy for you every day just to show up as Laurie Harder on the internet and not have to navigate this sometimes the very human experience of running a business or being a human being and family stuff or friend stuff. So I'm really grateful that you shared that. Now, you did share about like tapping into yourself. And I know that you shared that before coming into this, you tapped into meditation. I would love to know a little bit more about your practices, because especially in times with a lack of space, it's so important to stay connected to ourselves. How do you navigate that when you've got like a really busy calendar or you're spinning more plates, multiple businesses? Like, what does that connection to God, to yourself look like for you? And how have you what's your practice now? Has it evolved over time?
It changes with the season, because sometimes, like right now, it's hard for me to sit and meditate. So I haven't been doing it as frequently. But if I have something where I'm like, oh, I have a decision to make, or I'm going on a podcast, or I want to really have, I want God to speak through me. Like I want to be the messenger. Then I'll take a beat and be like, okay, let's slow down. I was a huge meditator for a long time, like 20 minutes a day, which to me that's
like religiously. I know to me that's like a lifetime.
To me that's that is like Buddha. That's like that's a lot. But now I've always been a really big walker.
Okay.
So walking is huge for me, and I'm also I pray at night.
Yeah. Okay.
So those two things are really big, and I am the person that I'll be walking around and I'll like kind of talk to God out loud, or around the house, or like over an email. Well, Kaylee and I'll be sitting with my brand coordinator, and I'll just be like, God, let this email blah blah blah, let it do this and let it do that. Thank you, amen. And so just a lot of like, I'm very casual with my conversation.
I love that
with him, because I think he's funny.
I think he's like down for the informal.
I think it's the best relationship. I think he thinks I'm funny.
I love that.
Like, it's great. And so I like to make it that way, because when you start making it like very almost like light and approachable, you also start seeing him everywhere. Like right now, I'm in some major challenges right now. Like, and they are extremely difficult for me. It's a big growth. It's more growth, more asking, more stretching, more discomfort than I've ever felt in my life, all at once, in a few departments all at once.
So normally when it's like you said, when it's consolidated to one area, you're like, okay, I can do this because these are the areas feel very stable. Whereas when it's in multiple areas, that for me is the most energetically challenging time to feel any kind of spaciousness or even like safety in your body.
Because I like play. I'm like a play, person. Like, and when I'm not getting a lot of it right now, and I'm like, oh my God, I like this. Everything feels heavy. I need it to be lighter, which it will be. It will be soon. Yeah. We're just in it right now.
But finding those opportunities to find the light, like those light moments, even in that season. Even
though I'm in it, like I'm clear. Here's the thing. So I read a book about. It's probably been a month now, and it's called Dangerous Prayers. And don't ask me how this book found me. It's like I opened an email, and it was from like Bible.com, and I did not like go sign up on this. I don't even know
how I'm on your email list.
Because of like the position that I was in, where I was like, okay, God, like show me a sign. Of course I opened this Bible.com email, and I'm like, interesting. And it's advertising this book, and I'm like, Dangerous Prayers. And because I like things like that, I'm like, dangerous prayers. I know that, say less. Contrast. So I was like, great. So I order it. And it's one of those books that's like, it's okay, but when it's good, it's so good, it'll change your life. Like, and I swear it was like 2 pages in there. And it was kind of just teaching some different prayers. well, of course I prayed them because I'm like, YOLO.
Yeah. Dangerous prayers. Let's go.
Let's do it. And one of them is like, God, break me if I need to be broken in order to find my the next thing. Well, he will break you.
He's like, here we are.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And it's so like, I guess even in those moments, like I'm super aware that I have asked, when I think about who I want to be in the world, she's doing a lot of good in the world, and she understands a lot of people, and like I want to be that person for people that I needed when I was little. Like, I really want to be that permission for people, and I think in order to do that I have to like fully understand a lot of different situations. And so that's my answer. And so when you're in it, it's like, I don't want to say be careful what you pray for, but don't wish away the challenge, because the challenge is the only way that you're going to become, people are looking at you right now and they're like, oh my God, she's doing all these big things. And it's like, I can only imagine what the
dragons that she has had to slay.
You had to be and become and go through in order to be this, because there's no way you can stand in this without being able to stand in what comes with it.
And I think that, to your point, and I know we've chatted about this, before coming to Beverly Hills this week, I have learned so much more about myself in the darkest of seasons than I ever did when everything was easy. Like, this is amazing. And it's easy to feel amazing in these situations, but I have learned so much more about what it takes to live a big, audacious life for the 13-year-old version of me, for the 30 version of me, for the 38-year-old version of me, in the seasons where I didn't feel like I was going to make it, or I wasn't sure how I was going to get through the next day or the coming week. I've learned so much more about myself in those seasons than I ever did when everything was easy in business or in life.
People wonder why you can sit and talk to them and feel like you're talking directly to them. It's because you've probably lost the money. You've probably had the heartache. You've probably, had problems with trying to have a child, or just there are so many things that when people are feeling spoken to, it's because you have to go through them. And so I love to talk with other women who have obviously, like, I feel like we could just go so deep into like, what actually did it take to get you here? Because it's like, in order to become this person that's sitting in front of me, you've probably had to actually intentionally put yourself back in the fire. You've had to intentionally put yourself in horribly uncomfortable situations. You've had to like intentionally make yourself uncomfortable every day. And I think that's where people, they're not necessarily, I think they don't think it's supposed to be a part of the journey. And that's one of the most disempowering things I think people can tell people is like, remember when the whole alignment thing was like, if it doesn't feel,
I was like, alignment, like it's that myth that alignment is like only doing things that feel good.
Oh my gosh, I will never forget when the whole alignment thing came. I had a girlfriend who was a lot younger than me, and she had like signed a contract to go speak on someone's stage, and it was like 2 days before, and I knew the person's stage, who it was. I was friends with them, and she was like, "She's just not feeling aligned." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not feeling aligned?" She's like, "It just doesn't feel like the trip feels hard, and I don't really want to go like prep and be on the stage. It's just not aligned for me." I go, "Well, your contract says it is."
Yeah. So contractually, it feels very aligned for you.
And I just remember being like, that snapped me awake to this moment of like, nothing feels aligned for me that has changed my life. It feels pretty terrible if I'm being like, people are like, wow, you go up on stage and that's amazing. I'm like, everything leading up to that does not feel good for me. And then when I'm done, I feel amazing.
It feels aligned.
It feels very aligned.
It feels very aligned on the, but you're right. I think even things like this week is like, I'm so excited, and this whole concept, and to bring this to life. But you're right. It's not like everything is just like easy breezy cover girl. It requires then the travel, the team, the, less sleep, and the being away from the children, and like the integration week that was a week of space now is a week of doing this, which is incredible. But there is a reality around the fact that it does everything that feels amazing. Everything doesn't always feel amazing in life or in business. And honestly, some of the most, I think about in Pilates, I'm like in the most uncomfortable of plank holds. I know that's where my abs are being born, but it's not in the easy moves, and it's all part of the experience. But also, how do you know what like joy feels like if you don't know what sadness feels like, or anger, or any of those pieces. And quite honestly, people talk a lot in our industry about quantum leaping. I personally think the secret to quantum leaping is being willing to fail faster than everybody else, being willing to be cringe for things not to work. You have to trust your instinct and follow it, and know that not everything is going to work out, and not everything is, but in it not working out, you actually find the exact step that you now need to take.
I think that's one of the biggest things that we're seeing with people, and even myself. It's like the faster you fail, especially publicly, the faster you find your thing, but nobody wants to fail. Like nobody wants to fail. They don't want to feel bad. And there's a range of emotions for a reason. We're supposed to dance in them every single day. Yeah. Like you, if you wake up feeling happy and then you're not happy because something happened and you call it not a good day, well, that's going to be your whole life, because there's going to be a whole lot of unhappy and things that you don't like and love in a day that's good. So I think, in terms of, oh gosh, I forgot what you just said.
No, but we were talking about the failing faster is the secret to like the quantum leap. It's like, I know we've said it around, like you told me, and I remember in the voice note you were like, I've been so willing to be cringe. Like and I think someone looking out would be like, you seem like such a cool girl, right? So I think about me coming up in this industry, and I said this to Danielle yesterday. I'm like, when I even reached out to you, I'm like, what if she says no? Like what? And again, I'm like, I'm willing for you to reject me, willing for you to say no, willing for you to ignore me, and knowing that is always on the table, but it's worth it for you to say yes. It's worth you, even if you said no now, it doesn't mean that next time we're here you couldn't have said yes. Yeah. And I think that for me, I know you spoke about, childhood and not feeling like you belonged where you were. I think for me, when I came up in this industry, I watched like you and Danielle and, a lot of these, Jasmine and Lindsay. And I remember for a long time in this industry feeling very like I don't fit in anywhere. And so I think that I would always have assumed watching you online that you must have always just felt like you fit in, because you were kind of like, you have all these amazing people around you. But has there been moments for you where you have felt like you don't fit in this industry?
All the time. And those amazing people, I probably paid for their mastermind. So.
I paid for my friends.
Like, I've met my
favorite friends. I always joke that. I'm like, you were the most expensive but best friend I ever purchased, and investing in that.
It's the best, isn't it? That's where a lot of my friends came from.
But all joking aside, people talk a lot about putting yourself in the right rooms. That is where I have met the most incredible people. Even if it wasn't even the investment itself, the actual mastermind, I'm like, I have created like connections with people that have then introduced me to people who have opened doors and windows of opportunity.
Well, it's the people who are on the same path as you, and that's what you need. You need people who are going to make the conversation that you want to have normal. You need people to normalize where you're going and what you're doing and the pain around that, and the fact that, if you're about to go do something big, your family or friends probably don't support you.
They're not going to get it.
And it's about the transition again. So we're back to the transition of, if you think you're going to start something new, it's the same thing as pivoting, because starting something new is pivoting from the person you've been. So it's about, how do you support the transition from the person you've been into the person that you're going to be? And that's going to be going and paying for some friends who are on that road with you, or paying for, if anyone is disagreeing, it's like, go pay for a mastermind. You can go, if you want to be a workout person, you want workout friends, guess what? You're probably paying for the gym. You're probably paying for Pilates.
Everywhere.
Because people who pay are committed. And so that's a great way to start finding the people in those rooms, is to go put yourself in a paid room of whoever, whatever interest it is that you have. And it's going to be the fastest way that you transform yourself. I want people to think about why you don't want your kids to hang out with the mean kids in school and the bullies. Why? Right. Because all of a sudden they come home and they're little a-holes.
And people will pay to send their kids to a better school so that they're around.
Exactly why they do
better.
it.
Like my son goes to a private Montessori school, and part of his, he's 8, and we don't want to move him because the kids are so kind and so nice and so grateful. And you do that in every area of your life. It's like this area is no different.
It's why parents will pay so much money for their kids to go to a good college. It's not just about the kids, it's about the network it opens up. They know that they are paying for all of those parents' networks if their kids get in that. And that's what masterminds are. You're not just paying for the people and for the information at all. You're paying for people's networks and access.
It's so true. Have you ever found yourself, because you do operate in just such a wildly successful network of humans, right? When I look at who your peers and your friends are and the circles that you're in, have you ever struggled with comparisonitis of like you versus where they're at or what they're doing? And being in those rooms is so expansive, but I also think it can also highlight your shadows around like where you are still having an issue with self-worth or the parts of you that do feel unseen and that are desiring to come forward. Like, how has that been being around such iconic trailblazing women?
I mean, I think it will always highlight that.
Yeah.
But I think it's always a moment of, because we're humans, like we actually, for survival, it's like we're always just like, are we good enough to survive? Will we stay in the tribe? Are we okay? Like,
will they accept me?
The wiring, exactly. It's will they accept me? And feeling like we want love and attention and we want to be adored. And that's okay to say. I think when it gets unhealthy is when it gets unchecked and you start acting on it, or you start resenting people, or you start pushing people away, or you start gossiping about people. I think it's very normal to, it's essentially, jealousy is one little pivot of a thought away from like admiration.
So true.
It's like the exact same, they are in the same exact lane. And so admiration can then open up permission of, oh, I admire her, because admiration opens up questions around how did she do that? Where jealousy says, oh, she got that. Admiration is like, wow.
It's such a like small
that's
nuance.
That's incredible. Like, how did you, now I want to dig in, how did she do that? And now you can get permission. Oh, she didn't graduate high school? Wait, well, I have a college degree, so maybe I could do this too, or maybe I didn't graduate. Maybe I could do this too. And so I think it's really normal. Those rooms, you have to check yourself, man. I have been in some where I feel like I have like spiraled so hard. And then I think the thing that we do when we spiral hard and we get jealous is, as humans, we make the thing that we feel we can't attain bad.
Oh, 100%.
And so I've done that before.
We like demonize it so that we're like, because we feel like we can't have it, then we're like, oh, well.
I don't want to be like them because look at, I noticed they did this. Or, oh, wow, they're so like totally inclusive over there. This is like, I don't want to be around these people anyway. They're awful. Like all of these things that are blocking you.
But it's true, because I think even for me watching, like feeling like I didn't fit in the industry, like there are moments where I was like, oh, well, it's because you're not meant to be like everyone. You kind of start justifying it rather than going, oh, but have you put yourself in opportunities to reach out to any of those people? Like,
totally.
Is there not an option on the table that they would probably include you, but you're deciding that, well, that's their group and therefore I'm isolated over here? It's like it's so easy to start creating narratives. I think for a long time I felt like, well, I've just always felt different to everybody else. So of course I feel lonely. Yeah. And it's just like, that's just part of the experience.
I did that same thing too. It may have looked one way, but I wasn't getting phone calls. I was doing them. Do you know what I mean? It may have looked like I was doing all those things, but it was because I was literally forcefully pushing myself. Seriously, like some spots I'd show up and be like, oh yeah, I don't know if they want me here. Oh yeah, I'm sitting alone at this table. Okay, but at least I'm in the room and you better get that selfie. So
But I love that you speak to that, because you were willing to put yourself in the discomfort of putting yourself going, knocking on the door, reaching out, forming relationships, and it's not easy. And and I think that people assume that, the more successful you get, the easier it gets. And actually it's like you feel even more like cringy, because I think sometimes it felt easier to be cringe, honestly, in the beginning when no one knew who I was and no one was paying attention to me.
Totally.
Now it feels a little bit harder to
now
be
it's like, will they like me? Will they not like me? What do they think of me? Do they have an idea of me? There's a lot around the friendship thing for me. I wrote a book about friendship, literally about networking and friendships, because I was so challenged by it, like just trying to navigate it and figure it out. And it felt really unfair to me because I always thought there were these popular groups, but then learning, I think one of the most freeing things for me that's really helped is knowing not everyone needs to be like they don't have to be friends with me.
That's
like
true.
they already, I want you guys, whoever, like if you're listening, I want you to think of your friend group right now. Like really think of your friend group that all of a sudden, if someone came in that you didn't know who this person was, but was like, no, I need to be in your friend group. Like, I'm like you. And you're like, no, this is my friend group. That's been my friend group for a long time. And we just want to go have wine together. It's like just the 5 of us. It's been really good for a long time. But this new girl wants to come in that doesn't really feel like great energy all the time. Like, would you want to open up to all of these people? You have to remember these people that you're trying to be friends with, they already have their friends. Mm-hmm. They are so busy out in the world giving so much energy, the groups that we're probably aspiring to be. True. that when they have downtime, they don't want to be meeting new people or taking away even more time from their friends and family and kids to go and like spend time with another new person. And that's okay. Like people don't necessarily want or need a lot of new friends. And when I really grasped that, I was like, because now I'm in that point where I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, I really want to spend time with my husband. And you know what? I haven't even seen my best friend because I keep making these dinners with these other people that I really just want like those 3 to 5 super close girls around me. And that's what feels so good. Because for a long time when I was writing the book and I'm like, no, more friends, I had never felt lonelier.
Isn't that funny?
I had so many friends. My calendar was booked. I was like busy with people at workouts nonstop. All new people. I was never lonelier because you can't get to know somebody off of these like one-stop meeting
There's
people.
no depth.
Yeah, it was like anyone who wanted to have coffee with me. I was like, great, let's do it. And I burnt out so fast and realized I'm a small circle person. And that also helped me let go of this particular group I was trying to break into. I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm for them.
And I think that's the biggest thing there is like even understanding like your intention. It's like why? Actually, it's like stopping to be like, am I trying to prove something to myself, or is there? And even understanding the why around like what is the longing? Because I often think that sometimes we seek in others what we're kind of avoiding in ourselves. So I think for me, I associated loneliness with this feeling of like, oh, I don't feel like I fit in anywhere. But that was like me. I was making me lonely. Not everyone else wasn't. Your responsibility is not to make me feel less lonely. Like my responsibility is to feel good in myself where I could never be lonely, even if I'm by myself. And so that for me is the self-worth piece around, and people want to be around that kind of person. Like people want to be around people that are just like easy to be around, that are so solid in themselves. And it doesn't mean that we even have to be like the same. It's like, I just want to be, I'm magnetized to people who are often completely different to me, but when they just feel so solid in who they are, and so solid in who you are, not to the lens of like, you're just so confident that you don't have any insecurities, but you're actually so self-aware and willing to be like, oh, that's actually a weakness of mine. Or actually, I really struggle with that. Like the things that I used to carry so much shame around, actually speaking about them is better than therapy to me. Actually bringing them forward and being like, hey, by the way, I've always suffered with depression. It feels like the most healing thing that I can do because it actually takes the things I'm most insecure around and bringing them forward and putting them on the table. Like now it doesn't feel like I have to hide any parts of myself.
And then the part where you become friends, I think I'm like, is it a C.S. Lewis quote where he's like, the part where friendship forms is when you expose something that is vulnerable and someone says, me too.
Me too.
I'm like, yeah, I've struggled with depression too. Anxiety, you name it. We can chat all about it. But that's the best part is it's like, oh, this is normal. So then it actually becomes a little less.
Yeah.
You know, because I think part of why we make things so bad is we think we're alone in them.
Oh, totally. We're like, no one else can possibly feel like this.
Right.
And yeah, human beings are actually, we're far more similar than everyone even realizes.
Oh my God. It's honestly, most people I know can struggle with some depression, especially high achieving people.
Exactly. And we were talking about this actually yesterday with the team. I'm like, I actually think that, you know, having periods where you feel like sad, low and anxious, etc. These are very normal human experiences. And I would argue that in my experience of meeting wildly successful people, generally a lot of visionaries really struggle with depression because it can inherently feel lonely when you have come up. I was the same way, coming up feeling different to everybody else. Like I don't belong. I know I don't belong here, but I can't explain it. Yeah. And feeling like I don't know where I truly belong. And everywhere I put myself, not quite finding that until I found it within myself.
Yeah.
And so now wherever I go, I always belong because I belong here. And I think to your point, it's kind of like, it's actually these are actually very normal experiences for a lot of people. It's not normal when it lasts and when it's everlasting. But what's really important is it always lasts longer when you just keep it to yourself. Like for me, the worst periods I've had is when I've tried to just like power through and not just say to people, actually, I'm having a really difficult time.
The faster I can go on a walk and then go on another one and talk to people, I walk and talk with girlfriends, with my husband, like the faster that energy moves through. I think that's another big thing is like, I do believe energy is supposed to move through. And so I think moving my body has been huge. Like, I don't know how anybody does entrepreneurship or life without consistently walking or moving, because there's just so much, especially in business, you're taking on so much energy all the time that if think of sitting stagnant in a chair, like, and all that energy's blasting at you on your computer or online or whatever you're doing, and then you don't go move it. Like you don't go
just
move it
still
through.
there.
It just sits there and you feel funky. Do you get that at all? Like,
yeah, totally.
If I don't go on a walk at 5 p.m. and my husband tries to talk to me, I'm like, no, I'm weird right now. Like I'm mad. I'm frustrated for no reason. It's just because I've been on my laptop all day.
It's like and I actually shifted. I used to work out in the morning.
Yeah.
I used to do Pilates the first thing in the morning. I actually started doing it after recognizing that part of my issue was exactly that at the end of my day, like at 5:30, before I go into like mum mode, because if I didn't, you're fine.
Sorry.
If I didn't decompress, like when I worked out in the morning, it felt great, but then I took on everyone else's energy like all day, and that stuck energy, I really struggled with insomnia. So I would lay at night and I would be like, and I would take so many melatonin and it wouldn't do anything. I thought I was like immune to melatonin. I was like, why does this not work for me?
Yeah.
But it was just the energy. And so I found like even decompression wise with working out at the end of the bookend of my day before I go into like the evening changed everything for me.
Walking has changed my life. I would never. Are you kidding? I wouldn't even make it. Like, I don't even know how to do the second half of my day without like a walk, without a break. I'm very... it's hard for me to sit, so I have to, and I do a lot of sitting right now for what I'm doing, and so that walk is like
everything.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I think is funny? I feel like me and Justin started doing, I feel like Chris may have shared that in the event that I went to.
I'm sure. We've been doing it for years.
Me and Justin started doing it in our old neighborhood. We started going on a walk and you just reminded me. I'm like, I swear, you just said that and I'm like, Chris must have said like couple walks or something.
That's all we've done like our whole marriage.
So how else, like obviously you do your walks together, like what does it look like for you? You're both really successful, high achieving people. You're a power couple, right? So everyone's like, you guys are a power couple. Like everything you touch seems to turn to gold. Like you do stuff together, you do stuff separately. What has it like been growing with him? Like personal development wise, business wise, like you guys have again been able to evolve together in an online space and working together, working separately, because again from the outside looking in, it looks like it's been so easy for you guys.
I mean, there's a lot that turns to gold and there's a lot that turns to crap, you know. Literally, like we have Monica in the room and like, you know, we did this great event, we were so obsessed with it, called the dinner series, but was it like profitable or good for us? No, but everyone
that looked great from the outside though, I'll tell you. From social media, it was a 12 out of 10, Monica.
Yeah, it was the best. We wish we could keep doing it, you know, but to everyone, this is what I'm talking about. Like people think the perception of things, but like if you're ever in a mastermind room with us, we're like, no, here's the numbers. Here's why we shouldn't have done it. And don't do this unless you, now, was it great for brand? Sure.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, I think it's knowing there's going to be a lot of crap that just like literally does in certain people's eyes that would have been a massive failure. In ours, obviously we can take it and be like, okay, well that was for brand and it was really great and we met these great people and these other people funneled into other things and that was great.
There's always like a halo effect, but again, for me it's not even about always even just straight profitability. It's like, how does also something feel? Like, does this feel like it's creatively bringing me joy? And
it did. It was very fun. We had a great time. But in terms of working together, you know, we've been working together for a really long time. And I will say we used to work together a lot and now we work together a little because we don't love it. So we love it in certain ways.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with being on stage with him. Like we love this like it's like, I know when he's going to stop. I know when I'm going to start. We've learned that, right? That didn't come easily either. Right. That came from a lot of Zooms hitting each other underneath the table. You know, those like reels where it's like, no, I'm going to talk, or he's over talking, or I'm over talking, or like.
You're like, well, actually, let me just interject for a second.
Yes. So much arguing like afterward, like that's literally how we learned is when we did network marketing, we had to do so many calls together.
Yeah.
And it was like, you talked too long on that. You didn't let me talk at all. You did this, you did that. And we learned like you can't even talk to each other that way, the way that I'm saying it. No. So we've done a lot of like events together and retreats, meaning like so that we can work on ourselves and each other.
And again, you've got amazing at speaking together because you've done it a lot.
Because we've done it a lot and we've screwed up a lot. And we've also been willing to make that space to go and work on our marriage. Because sometimes you're tired and at the end of the day, it's like the last thing you want to do is bring something up. And especially with my husband, like he's tired and bringing something up again, it's like it doesn't ever feel like the right time in the right place. Although I will say the walks are what that is for.
Which is great because, like you said, you're like literally physically moving the energy. And so it almost feels easier to be active and like be processing things together.
There's actually something about, and I've heard it, but I couldn't restate it too. But if you research it, there's something about walking and side by side walking too. It's less like confrontational. It's less look in my eyes, let's sit down. It's easier. So actually a lot of men who don't open up, like they'll tend to, like, men have conversations side by side with each other a lot, and that's when they can open up, or like playing a sport or something.
Which makes sense.
And so I think it's a great way,
it like removes the pressure of like doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so like, let's sit down and talk about this, it just becomes a little more natural. And then when you're walking, if something feels hard or you're kind of arguing, it's just like you're moving, and it doesn't last as long, And then you're both on a walk together, and you look like idiots if you try to run away from each other anyway. So now you're stuck together, which I have run away from him a couple times.
Which is completely normal.
He's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm just mad at you.
What are the parts of you that he loves the most?
Oh, man. That's a great, actually, this is so funny because I'm like in kind of a needy space right now.
I love that.
Because I'm just like feeling like, a lot is going on. So I'm definitely like at the end of the night, I'm like, I just need you to hold me. I need you to tell me what you love about me so I can answer this. Because I've been going, what do you love about me?
Tell me all the things. Go.
And so let's see. Let me think. What did I ask this last night? Maybe, yeah. He said tenacity, like, the ability to just take whatever is coming at me and switch it to positive pretty darn fast. The ability to like see the good in people. I really want to see the good in people and in the world, no matter what. It makes my world safer.
How have you been able to do that even while navigating? Because I'm sure inevitably as you've continued to be successful, you've had to navigate seeing the good in people and that or not always paying off. How have you been able to maintain that spirit of wanting to keep an open heart and trust people whilst I'm sure likely experiencing not always every relationship ends up being, not always the good in people doesn't always shine in every situation?
You know what's really helped with being able to see the good in people is seeing the good in people from afar. Boundaries really help with that, meaning people can be, there's a lot of things that help with that. But the boundary portion of what I'm saying is I think sometimes people don't want to see the good in people because they're afraid they're going to hurt them or something. And I'm like, well, yeah, I can see that woman is like, bothering everyone or driving them crazy or don't like how she's operating. But there's probably a reason why that's happening.
It's like compassion.
She's probably healed. It's definitely, it's all compassion. It's all compassion because, we can all look back and go,
I can find a version of myself in everyone's crappy behavior.
Totally. I can too. I can find a version of me that if I was pushed enough or not loved enough
or my hadn't figured out that shadow and worked on it.
Totally. If I couldn't figure out a way how to get healthy attention, I absolutely would be doing what they're doing, because there was a version of me that could have chosen that path for sure.
What would Chris say he wishes more people knew about you?
We're just both like, we are really ridiculous. Like I think we both, like, for example, we'll do full.
I love your nodding. I can see her in the background. She's like, yep, I approve this message.
We'll do like full SNL skits, like on walks or at home. Like, I don't even know.
I feel like I love seeing that side of you guys. When I see you guys show up and do your like silly, because you both are just so light to me. Like when I see you guys in that vibe and just doing your like silly stuff, I love watching you. It's so magnetic to watch you guys in that.
It's so funny. I wish I could show it more. It's actually hard to capture because you're just so in it that I'm like, then you turn a camera on and you're like, oh, that's gone.
And I feel like it's even harder as a couple. Me and Justin talk about this all the time. I think I'm absolutely fucking hilarious. And
same.
We are so funny and my team are around us all the time. But when you try and do it for social media and then I'm like, no, you're being weird. I'm like, do it how you did it before. Like you're making it weird. And then you're like, never mind, forget it. The moment has passed.
Totally. I have to figure out how to capture. I don't know if I ever will. But anyway, that's my favorite.
We just need to like cameras to follow you around all the time. This is why reality TV is the thing.
It is. We actually say that all the time in the house. We're like, we need a reality TV show because people have no idea. Yeah. They literally have no clue.
And it's the coolest stuff. What do you wish more people knew about Chris?
Oh my God, that man is the most generous human, constantly thinking about people. Like one of the most generous humans I've ever met in my life. Like so concerned about creating experiences for people, making sure that people are really taken care of, especially if they, work for us. It's like my family that works for us. So but yeah, one of the most kind, generous, smart, so smart. He can figure anything out. Like I say it to him because again, the theme is we're navigating some challenging things right now. But every day I'm like, I can't imagine anyone. I would rather walk through 10 more lifetimes and lose everything 100 times each lifetime with you and rebuild everything. I'm like, I wouldn't want to navigate with anyone else because it's fun. So it's like, it's horrible, but it's fun. Like somehow we've learned how to make all of it fun.
And don't you feel like you guys are so much closer as a result of
so much closer? I mean, there's definitely moments where it's like, oh, we're both, there's 2 startups in the house right now. And like 2 startups that are asking for money right now. And we're like, oh, this is interesting. Like you do this startup life and it's everything that you read about but didn't think would happen to you, you know? And you're like, do you want this startup to survive?
I know there's something funny about that. You're like, I feel like for me, it's going to be different.
Yeah,
and you're like,
really,
now I get it.
That's how you get into it though. That's literally is because I was like, no, it's going to be different. And we're both staring at each other. I wouldn't recommend ever having 2 startups at the same time.
No, that's
ever.
Yeah.
But we're figuring it out.
And it's we're the year of the horse. It's easier from we're done with the snake. We're here on out. Easier.
Better be. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, we keep saying that. We're just like, it's a shed. It's gonna be great. We just laugh about everything now.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
What do you think 13-year-old Laurie would say and think now as she looks at you and the life that you created?
I think about this a lot. I think about it a lot. First of all, she'd be like, oh, thank fucking God you did it. Like, because I have been, like, all I did was rollerblade and dream and like, please, please, like, go do something with your life. I can feel it. She'd be so happy about the husband I got. Like, that makes me want to cry. So I remember I was like 14 years old and I was hanging out with these kids in my church and I got made fun of a lot, bullied because I was an overweight kid. And I remember this kid said to me, he's like, I was like boy crazy and would talk about being married or whatever all the time. And he was like, you're never going to find a guy like that. You'll never find a guy who's loyal. Men won't stay committed. Like literally at like that age. And I just remember being like, hating this kid. I can still literally see his face. And I was like, I will find someone like that. And I'm not going to settle till I do. So she'd be very happy because I'm a partnership girl. Like I love my husband more than I can tell you. Just like fiercely. Love my girlfriends. And so I'd be so proud of that. Honestly. And that I went for it.
Yeah.
Like I did not play small. I'm like fucking going for it and it's fucking scary. Yeah. It's like this morning I was thinking that I'm like, is it worth it? It's worth it, but baby, buckle up.
Yeah. But that's what makes it worth it. No one wants to watch a movie where it was like, and she started and she won and it was so freaking easy. Yeah. They're like, I want to see all of it. Like we're here for the contrast, like the best books, the best movies are full of, is she going to make it? And that's like part of it. And I just think it's so cool to hear from it. Like we're all losing it. But like hear from another woman who the 13-year-old version of you is like in awe. I'm like thinking about, she must be like looking at you now like, holy shit. Like, thinking about what you knew you were meant for without it making sense. She's like, well, of course now it all made sense. And of course you found Chris.
The 45-year-old version of me sitting here right now is really excited for the 50-year-old version of me. Like, seriously, I'm not even kidding. Because it's like, I think I was really thinking about this because there are some days, if I'm being honest, like especially in this particular startup with products and going from digital to like, I thought that was challenging. And I realized, and I'm not saying something is harder than the other. It's different. It's very different. So insanely different. The amount of people that you have to rely on, the amount of like fear around thinking of, is my product's on a truck right now. My whole product
is
on a truck.
Layers of complexity.
The layers
with
of complexity.
Physical product.
Yes,
there's
totally.
logistics. There's just so many other factors. Than digital is just like it's digital.
Yes, it's amazing. I'm like,
the
let's
logistics
go.
of digital are very different than the logistics of physical product.
Totally. And I'm just thinking like, you know, I know I'm meant to be, I know that my purpose on the planet is to go experience the thing so I can report back.
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited to report back on the
I
other
feel like you
side
and
of
Chris
this.
have both done like such a good job of that. And
I hope so.
Yeah. It's like everyone gets to benefit from the wisdom, which is they're the people that make the best mentors for that reason.
Thank you.
Know?
It's like, oh, there's a fire in there. Let me go stand in it to tell you if you get burned or not. Oh shit, you get burned.
I'm going to tell you how to navigate this next time if this ever happens to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done the hard work for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it is worth it. It's just like honestly, like the tears are coming from pride, but they're also coming from, I'm in a hard spot again. And I can't wait to meet me in a year. Like I know that I asked for a really big calling in this life.
Yeah.
And there's no way to do that without going back in the fire. There is no way.
You got what you prayed for.
I got what I prayed for. So every opportunity is here for me right now to become the woman that I want. And if I wish them away, and if I say, why is this happening to me? And how is this all happening at once? Like I'm pushing away every opportunity. So I used to do Soul Cycle all the time.
You did.
And like all the time, like for, oh my gosh, probably 4 times a week for like 5 years. I was like a Soul Cycle junkie because there was something about that repetitive motion and the instructors.
It's also got like a personal development flair to it.
And we were like in LA, like, and they would hire these people were seriously could have been on, you know, like they could have been on stage, like personal development speaking. It was insane. So yes, I was absolutely getting poured into. And, you know, the different people we go to, there was a woman in there and she would say, okay, now it's time to pile on the opportunity, like crank up the resistance knob because the woman next to me could go to the same class every single day, right? You could come in there and
have a completely different
literally
workout.
have a completely different experience. You could be like, you know what? I don't want to put on any resistance. And you could be in the same exact room with the same exact opportunity, the same exact words, the same exact amount of time.
Not create the same result.
And you could have a totally different result. And so
I love that.
It's just like the opportunity is every opportunity to become who we want is in our life at any moment, and we can create it. It's, are you going to choose to walk into the room with the resistance? And then are you going to choose to pile the resistance on? And so it's like, there are a lot of people we know who even walk in the rooms. You have women who walk into your mastermind and they leave with the story of, that didn't do anything for me, or I didn't like it, or, you know, whatever the story is, it didn't work. And it's like, well,
wasn't aligned.
Wasn't aligned, didn't feel good. You can walk into the rooms, you can even think that you got the opportunities, but you didn't choose to go even harder, if we're being honest. It's like
true.
There's a layer and a layer and a layer of that.
I love that. Crank up the opportunity. What do you think 90-year-old Laurie would say to you in the season that you're navigating right now? If you were sat like having coffee with her,
she'd be like,
looking back on this
fuck
season.
the fuck up. Because she's
like, let's fucking go.
She doesn't care. Because she doesn't care what she says. And she, what would she say to me right now navigating this? She would like cackle for sure, because it's all figured out. Because everything that we just said is the way.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, you thought that
she's
that
like
was hard, and
she's like looking back on this, being like romanticizing it. Like,
she'll be like, that was our best story.
Yeah,
like that's where this came out of. That's where this book. That's where your next big book came out of. That's where this came out of. That's where, like, you can't get the next things without that. So she'd literally be cackling. It'd be wonderful. She's having a martini as well.
That's what I mean. She's like dirty martini in hand.
Yes.
Like, girl,
yeah,
let's
totally.
go.
She's like, I would go do that again 100 more times to be young and be in that space. And be in that outfit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, have you seen you? Live your best
Did you
life.
see your skin? Stop. That skin you complain about?
Have you seen those abs? Get another crop top on. You're going to be fine.
Exactly. Go back.
I love this. I am so wildly grateful for you. There is so much wisdom you have to share. And I just think I'm so grateful that you came and you shared so vulnerably with us around, you know, what it's taken to become Lori Harder, and to know that, you know, you're still in the fire with the rest of us, and we're still all going to be in the fire together. And I just appreciate you so much coming on the Soft Girl Millions show. Like, you're just such the epitome of a trailblazer, and it's such an honor to finally be able to meet you in person and to do this with you. So thank you so much.
Well, I'm like literally in awe and inspired by your journey. I really am. Like, I tap into you often right now, truly, because you're in just a really beautiful power place. And sometimes it's gonna make me cry. Sometimes when you've forgotten yours, you need to see it.
And you were that for me too. So
well, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there's people here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Cheers.
So when it comes to Glossy and like this glow and deep glow, like what was it that made you so like, this is what the market needs? Because I feel like you've really like filled a gap, like, and really, again, I think you really trendsetted, and like we're seeing more of these things pop up, but like Glossy has been such a staple around like setting the trend for this. And I love that it like approaches it from both like the glow, but also the deep bloating, but rather than just like either or.
It's almost like we knew what you wanted. No, truly, because I'm a woman.
Like I understood you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when we were, so literally, it was like Danielle and Natalie when they were doing Boss Babe, and then also a couple other women. I asked them if I could go in their groups to do a survey, because I was like, okay, we're all drinking these hydration sticks,
right?
But they're all like
full of crap,
full of crap, salt, super bro,
so salty,
super like they're either super extreme sport, and so I was like, why wouldn't we make this stick do more for us? Why wouldn't we make our water work for us? Exactly. I was like, so what would you, so we went in those groups and we said, if this one stick could do anything, what would it be? And so we took the top 3 of what like the survey was, which was the top was everyone wanted to feel lighter, but then we had to translate what that meant.
What does it mean?
Like, what does it mean? You want us to help you lose weight? Do you want to like de-bloat? What is that? So it was better digestion, de-bloating, and then something for the skin. They all wanted to just like feel glowier.
You just want to be glowier.
So it's, most women are like, oh, I need to drink water. And it's not like because we want to hydrate, but we're like, oh, our skin needs water. Like we know it. So that's why we put literally all of these amazing ingredients into it.
I know you started with lemon. That was your staple. Mm-hmm. I love lemon. But you were saying how you had that for like, you know, a while, and then you expanded into the other flavors.
Yep.
So what's your now favorite? What's your now fave?
Probably watermelon, and I'm not even a watermelon girl, but strawberry is my second favorite.
Okay, so I'm a strawberry and hibiscus girly.
Okay, I'm gonna do watermelon.
So we're gonna do strawberry and hibiscus for me. I'm gonna get our glow on. Cheers.
Cheers.
But I love it because it's not salty. Like you said, like those hydration sachets, I used to be able to put like a tiny bit in because it was like drinking salt.
No, totally.
This actually just feels like so, like just like a slight flavor to your water.
We wanted something that just was like a moment to feel, you know, kind of refreshing, a little bit up-leveled. So we did some fun flavors, and instead of like your second cup of coffee in the afternoon, or if you're an entrepreneur and you're having more and more coffee, which love my coffee, but if you can swap one out because you're just fueling like anxiety in the afternoon, you know, so we don't even realize it. We're like, oh, I want to be more productive, but you're actually just making yourself more anxious.
And you actually need to just be more hydrated.
You really do.
Whatever the problem is, I think you need a glass of water with some Glossy in, and everything. It's going to solve
it. It solves everything. So how often do you think you're going to do this?
I think I want to do it in like seasons. So like to take the pressure off of like, now it needs to be every single week. I think it needs to just be like
doing certain locations and finding like all the amazing humans in that location. Like, I would imagine we could like come back to Beverly Hills 100 times and never run out of amazing humans.
Probably would never run
like
out.
It would be so cool to have like you and Chris on, you know, where you're like, yeah, but like, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
I just think there's so much that we could do. Literally, as in this tiny,
look at the car.
Tiny.
So fun.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Okay, how am I gonna get in this? But I feel like the first time we came to Rodeo Drive, I was like,
Oh yeah, the first time for me, I was freaking out.
oh my gosh. I was
like, I've seen this in movies.
I was like, I'm in Beverly Hills. I'm on Rodeo Drive. And like Pretty Woman was like one of my favorite movies.
Oh yes.
I'm like,
Big mistake.
big mistake.
Huge.
Huge mistake. So fun. Oh, Dior? Yes.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of everything.
Yes, please.
Next time on the Soft Girl Million show.
When we originally shared around the billboard, part of the thing that was the hardest was I was like, you know, I'd said didn't even think I was going to make it to 30. Like, as a young girl growing up, I did not think I would even make it to 30, let alone become a mum, and let alone build a business like this, and let alone be able to sit across from a woman that I've watched and admired in the online space that has inspired my journey. Be able to say that like I've given her strength in a moment of like where she's having a tough time too, and given her power. And I'm like, how crazy is it? It's like I've always said like depression is such a liar, and it will tell you that like you're not important and that you're no one, and it will tell you that like no one would fucking notice if you weren't here. And I'm like, the amount of people that would notice, it's like those moments, it's like we need more. The one thing I'll say is I wish more people would say things like that to each other, because you have no idea someone needs to hear you say that to them today. Like, if in those moments where I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore, people would have told me what an impact I was making on their life, even in a really small way, like then it's like the world needs more of us to not wait until somebody is like not here anymore to say all the things that we should have said to them.